If you stepped into 10th century Baghdad, you wouldn't find a dark age. You'd find the future. The year is 950 CE. Europe is silent. Rome's aqueducts are crumbling. But here, in a city of nearly 1 million souls, the air smells different. Breathe it in. Fresh paper, not parchment, paper. Stacked high in the Souk al-Warakan, Souk al-Warakin, the paper market. Sheets so new, the rice starch still clings to them. Ink vendors crush gall nuts in bronze mortars, the bitter scent cutting through the sweetness of rosewater drifting from nearby stalls. A donkey cart creaks past, loaded with bamboo pens from Persia. Pause for a moment. Where are you watching from? Let the world meet you in the comments. Now, listen. The call to prayer echoes off copper domes. Solemn, powerful. But beneath it, there's something else. A clicking sound. Rhythmic. Precise. Astrolabes. Dozens of them hanging in a brass smith shop. Each one a portable cosmos. Star maps etched into metal, rotating arms that can tell you the time in Damascus, while you're standing in Cordoba. The craftsman taps one with his fingernail. It rings like a small bell. And there, across the Tigris River, Tiwai is where the real work happens. The House of Wisdom. Bait al-Hikmah, not a library, a factory of knowledge. Inside, candles burn even at midday. Dozens of them, because the translators never stop. Syriac scholars sit beside Greek converts, beside Zoroastrian mathematicians. They're racing to translate everything. Aristotle, Euclid, Ptolemy, and texts from India and China that most of Europe doesn't even know exist. The wax smells like honey. The smoke stains the ceiling black. But what they're creating here will burn brighter than any flame. If this journey through time speaks to you, subscribe, because we're only just arriving. Let me show you the first invention. That changed everything. This man's name is Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi. He's writing a book called Al-Kitab al-Mukhtasar fi Hisab al-Jabr wal-Muqabala. You don't need to remember that title. You need to remember one word from it: Algebra. Algebra. Before this moment, mathematics was a language that could only describe what already exists. Al-Khwarizmi is inventing a mathematics that describes what could exist. Unknown quantities, variables, the ability to solve for x. Watch his reed pen move. He's showing how to balance equations. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. Completion and balancing. Al-Jabr wal-Muqabala. It sounds obvious now. It's only obvious because he wrote it down. Within 3 centuries, this book will be translated into Latin. Within 8 centuries, every bridge, every ship, every cathedral in Europe will be designed using his methods. Within 10 centuries, NASA will use his equations to calculate trajectories to the moon. Every time you split a restaurant bill, you're using Algebra. Every GPS satellite orbiting Earth right now is running his algorithms. But here's the thing. Al-Khwarizmi isn't even the biggest story in this building. Because while he's creating the mathematics of the future, someone else is creating its medicine. Walk with me to the Bimaristan, the hospital. Not a pest house where people go to die, a hospital where they expect to live. The floors are limestone, washed twice daily. Running water flows through channels in the walls. The Romans had aqueducts, but this is something else. This is plumbing designed by people who read the ancients and then asked, but what if they were wrong? Smell that? Sharp, almost alcoholic. It's camphor. They're using it to clean surgical tools. This young man is Ibn Sina. In the Latin West, they'll call him Avicenna. He's 30 years old and he's already treated kings. Now, he's writing something that will become the world's medical textbook for the next 600 years. If you believe these stories of human brilliance deserve to be remembered, take a second to subscribe to Vestiges of Islam. Help us keep this history alive. The Canon of Medicine. 1 million words. 14 volumes. Every disease known to humanity categorized. Every drug tested. Every treatment debated. He's describing contagious diseases before anyone in Europe admits they exist. He's documenting the symptoms of diabetes. He's explaining how tuberculosis spreads through water and soil. He is writing about the importance of quarantine. By the year 1300, this will be the required text at the University of Paris. Until 1650, 700 years after it was written, European medical schools will still open every lecture by reading from the canon. When your surgeon scrubs before an operation, that's Ibn Sina. When your doctor asks about your medical history before prescribing medication, that's Ibn Sina. But medicine isn't the only science being revolutionized. Because right now, above our heads, someone is rewriting the sky. Now, leave the hospital. Forget the math. We are stepping into a room with no windows. Total darkness. In the center of the room stands a man named Ibn al-Haytham. He has been under house arrest in Cairo for years, and in that silence, he has discovered a secret. For 2,000 years, the greatest minds, Aristotle, Euclid, Ptolemy, believed that our eyes shoot out rays of light to feel the world. They thought vision was active. Ibn al-Haytham knows they are wrong. He has poked a tiny hole in the wall of this dark room. Outside, the sun is blazing. Inside, a miracle is happening. On the opposite wall, a ghostly image of the world outside appears. The minarets, the palm trees, the people walking the streets. They are upside down, but they are perfect. He calls it the Kamara, the dark room. You know it by its Latin name, the camera. But his discovery isn't just about light. It's about truth. He writes, "The seeker after truth is not one who studies the writings of the ancients and follows them blindly. He is the one who suspects his faith in them and asks for proof." Ibn al-Haytham is doing something no one has done before. He isn't just thinking, he is experimenting. The scientific method. It wasn't born in the Renaissance. It was born here, in a darkened room in Cairo, in the mind of a man who refused to believe his eyes until he could prove the light. This is what you would have found if you time traveled to the 10th century. Not a dark age, an explosion of light. The algebra that runs every computer. The medical knowledge that saves millions of lives. The optics that let us see distant galaxies and microscopic cells. They all started here, in Damascus, in Baghdad, in Cairo, in Cordoba, in houses of wisdom that still smell like ink and old paper. The next time someone tells you the Middle Ages were dark, remember this. While Europe's candles were going out, Baghdad's were just being lit. And the world has been brighter ever since. If this journey through time spoke to you, subscribe, because we're only just beginning to uncover the vestiges of our past. Thank you for traveling with us. Stay curious.